Good morning, students. Today we will be doing chapter 6, that is tissues. Now, in this chapter, we will be doing first plant tissues and then we will be doing animal tissues. In plant tissues, we will be first of all in this chapter, we will try to understand what the tissues are, and then we will understand how plant tissues are different from animal tissues, and then we will come to plant tissues. So now we will understand what a tissue is. What is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells having similar origin, structure and function. So group of cells which have same structure and function, they are called tissue. They are said to form a tissue. Now, why the plant tissues are different from animal tissues? The needs of the plants are different from animals. Plants are fixed, they do not move, they are stationary, they need to stand upright, so they need more of the supportive tissues and they don't have a skeletal system. So their tissues are mostly supportive in nature, and these tissues are made up of dead cells. So most of the tissues in the plant are of dead cells. Some tissues are living. There are some tissues in the plants which are continuously dividing. For example, the plants keep on growing and we have to cut them from time to time. This is because the cells of these tissues are continuously dividing and forming new type of cells, sorry. So the tissues in the plants are different from animals. What about the animal tissues? Animal tissues are made up of different types. Animal tissues are large in number and they are all of different types, and most of their tissues are living because their energy needs are high. They have to move from place to place in search of food and shelter, hence, they require large energy, and most of their tissues are living. They have more specialized tissues, and these tissues are organized into organs in an organ system. Now, types of plant tissue. Plant tissues are of two types. There are two broad categories: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Let us see the flow chart of the plant tissue. Now, in this flow chart, we see that the plant tissues are divided into two broad categories: meristematic and permanent. Again, then, meristematic is divided into three: apical meristem, lateral meristem, intercalary meristem. Amongst the permanent tissue, we have two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Now, simple permanent tissue have same type of cells. Now, in this, we again have three categories: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. In sclerenchyma, again, we have two types: fibers and sclerids. Now, complex permanent tissues are again divided into two: xylem and phloem. You must have heard about them in your junior classes. Now, xylem has four type of cells: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Phloem also has four type of cells: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So this is the flow chart. These are the different types of plant tissues that we are going to study in this chapter. Now, first of all, we will study meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. Now, in order to understand the meristematic tissue, we will perform a small activity. In this activity, we take two onions, approximately the same size, and we take two glasses full of water and we label them A and B. Now we place the onions or in the glasses as shown in the first figure, and we leave them for 3-4 days. After 3-4 days, we take out the onion in glass A. We see that the roots have grown. We cut them with the scissors, and then we place it on the glass A again. After 4-5 days, we again look at both the onions which are lying in the glasses A and B. What do we see? We see that the roots in glass B have grown much longer and the roots in the glass A have not grown. Now, what's the reason? The reason is that there is a meristematic tissue which is present at the tip of the root and the tip of the shoot also, but here it was present at the tip of the roots. And in the glass A onion, we had cut that roots. So that means we had cut the meristematic tissue. And this meristematic tissue is responsible for the growth of the stem and the roots, and it is generally present at their tips. So because the meristematic, now let's see the next slide. In the next slide, we see in the first pic, we see that the meristematic tissue was cut, so there was no growth. Whereas in the second pic, we see that the meristematic tissue is over there, which is dividing continuously and causes the growth of the root. So what is the function of the meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissues found in the growing regions, that means at the tip of the root and tip of the shoot, and they continuously divide. That means their main function is that they keep on forming new cells. They are again of three types: apical meristematic, lateral meristematic, and intercalary meristematic, as shown in the diagram over here. Student, this diagram is similar as the diagram in your book. You need to draw them also. Now, apical meristematic tissue. Now, this meristematic tissue is present at the tips of the stem and roots, and they help in the growth of the stems and roots. They cause the plant to grow. Next, we come to lateral meristematic tissue. These are present on the sides of the stems and roots. For example, cambium in stems and roots. They help to increase the girth of the stems and roots. Now, girth means width. They are increasing the plant in width. They are causing the plant to grow width-wise. So, which meristematic tissue is responsible for growing in girth? Lateral meristematic tissue, and it's often present on the sides. And third, now we come to the intercalary meristematic tissue. They are present at the base of the leaves and internodes. They help in the growth of branches and leaves. They are generally present in the internodes and cause the growth of this region. So this is about the meristematic